Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Wrap Up Show. We're doing things a little bit different now because of, we took a long break and I was recently monetized, so I'm not playing that new intro or the old intro. We're going to work on a new intro that we have not done yet. So I'm also not going to open up the panel right away. I'm just going to have my trusty co-host here, Charmin, who we're going to kind of just like wrap up the last 3 weeks and not only the show today. And then I will open it up for people, but I want to make sure that you message me either on Twitter or Discord in order to get the link, because there has been some rascally behavior lately, and I just don't want people to come up here that I don't know. So am I related to Kenneth? No, I'm not related to Kenneth. Charmin.
Wheezy, it's so nice to see you
I
again after so
know.
many
It's
weeks.
so great to see you. I was, for people that don't know, we were backstage chatting, and all of a sudden she lost connection, and I was like, "Oh fuck, I can't do this without Charmin." So I'm glad that your connection is better, and you can also message Leaf people if you guys want a StreamYard link. But we're vetting people just because of things that have happened. Hi, Bruce Davis. So Charmin, I am bummed that you did not win. But I am
Oh, thank
very
you.
proud of you and happy for you that you went out and you
Mhm.
did your fucking thing, and
Thank
you
you.
should be very proud of yourself. And
Thank you.
when you were gone, I couldn't even do a show without you because I was like, no wrap up show is going to be done without Charmin. So I'm
Oh,
so glad that you're back, and I'm so glad that we have those 3 weeks off to kind of just kind of like, I don't even know what it would be, recalibrate or something, because it seems a little different now, right?
it does seem a little bit different. The energy's different. It feels like the traveling, the in real life, the meeting people face to face was good for everybody. And
Yeah.
and I think that whatever comes next will be fun. I thank you so much. I appreciate your support, right? It was scary getting out there. It was scary running, and I knew that the odds weren't in my favor, but I did it anyways.
Yes, that's
So
amazing.
uh,
Very
you know, I
amazing.
I learned a lot from it, and I'm looking forward to whatever comes in the future because, once you do it once and the bug has you, it can just reach up and get you again. And I'm looking forward to catching up on everything that happened over the last few weeks because I did miss a lot. I was
Right.
shocked today when I found out Andy had been sentenced and is now a registered sex offender,
Mm-hmm.
and I wasn't anticipating to hear that at all. So I
That's
don't even know where to
bums me out
begin.
to no end. It bums me out, but I have to say it doesn't surprise me. We've been
Mhm.
able to see his crazy behavior since we've known him, and we barely know him. I just know him. He's an online personality that I have talked to. It's not like I actually know him, but we have seen his ways, and I think this stems from a 2018 incident. So we have heard about this the entire time, but it's not surprising, and that's really sad to admit that it's not surprising, because
Yeah.
when Andy's on and he's like being funny and how he is, it's really easy to just like that character and to really be like, oh my god, Andy Dick, and but when you zoom out and you see some of the other things that he's people say about him or he's done or he's been convicted of, it makes you want to really kind of separate yourself from him. So it's tough, and I think Elisa's been handling it great because she hasn't really brought him into the mix in quite a long time. And
Mhm.
I'm assuming that part of that is because of the mistakes that he keeps making, and he keeps finding himself in all this trouble, which isn't just light stuff. So it's pretty heavy.
It is really heavy stuff, and I'm happy to see that this sentence comes with 52 weeks of, AA
Yeah.
and, sex offenders training, some sort of therapy. I don't know if anything will get through to Andy and make a difference. He's been to AA so many times. There's been so many attempts to try to make him sober. Maybe this will be what works. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
What do you think about this? Do you think that she's
No,
done?
no, I don't think she's done. I don't think she's done, but I guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
There's only one way to find out, and that's to tune in next weekend and see if anybody shows up.
Yeah,
And
I
it
mean,
might be like that for a little while. It might be touch and go, and we might have some more hiatuses through the holidays because,
right.
things do get a little crazy during the holidays, and maybe that's not what she wants to do. And she said she's going to be looking for a regular 9 to 5 job, so there isn't going to be as much in real life streaming,
Right.
right? That does take up a lot of time, and I think she enjoys it, but I don't know if it's as profitable. I mean, maybe we should do some of those Rob ideas. He had some suggestions to bring revenue in, and that, maybe that's what needs to be done too.
Well, I liked what she said earlier. Like maybe she does, and I love this show. I love the Kermit and Friends wrap up show. I love Kermit and Friends show. I definitely want to keep doing something no matter what she does. But one of the things that she said was, "Hey, maybe I'll just do an interview a week, and then Charmin and Louise could wrap that up." And
Mhm.
that would be cool because we have a lot to talk about that happened in the last 3 weeks. And my original intent was to do a show weekly still and kind of like cover what she had been doing. But like I said, I didn't want to do it without you. You were fucking running, and I was like, I am not going to bother Charmin over and over again, trying to be like, hey, do this little show because you had real shit to do. And so that's a good way to kind of shift gears. If she wants to do that, we can still be involved and we can still pump her up. I feel like today was a turning point though, because I have to tell you, in the back, I was backstage rolling my motherfucking eyes, putting my hands in my palm because the callers were atrocious. Those people just want to interrupt the flow of the show. The only thing they're really doing is to put their stamp on it so they can say, look, I was on this show and I got to derail it. And her having such an open door policy, it usually works. But maybe it's just the time away and seeing it again. It's so frustrating when she's on a thought, she's in the middle of a thought, and maybe even somebody's on panel, and then somebody calls to do a horrible voice to talk about nonsense. It's like, wow, this is one of the only places where you're allowed to have a voice, and this is what you do. This is why people don't have open phones all the time, because it
No.
ruins it.
No, and that's
So
exactly it. That's why a lot of places have gone away from open phone calls because you just never know what people are going to say. And it's a platform. It's an opportunity for them to do something funny and humiliate somebody to get a laugh. And it eventually just came to the point where it wasn't funny. And I think a
yeah.
lot of people really felt that today. I openly admit to not understanding the Illuminati or what the draw is or what it's really about or what's going on with the Illuminati. But clearly there's something going on with the Illuminati and nobody really wants to talk about it because there's something weird about it that is secret.
Well, Sean says this. He says the caller's atrocious because everybody in the whole community is atrocious. Don't fool yourself, Guy, which is hilarious because I called him Guy a long time ago and he really didn't like that. Y'all don't have any content that isn't people swatting, doxing, or posting. Well, I respectfully disagree, Sean. You've only had negative comments to say the entire time. As soon as you realized that Elisa wasn't buying your shit, you've only been a naysayer the entire time. I don't know why you would watch. I don't know why you're in the Discord. Why are you even here commenting? If we're so horrible, then you're guilty by association too, bub. And you might as well just get out of here.
I mean, let's say something about the doxing and the swatting, though. We don't like
Horrible.
that. Nobody
No,
wants that. Nobody wants to be part of that. And whoever's participating in that should stop.
I agree
Right?
100%.
They should go away. We don't want to be part of that. Watching Elisa get swatted was awful.
Yeah, it really
Uh,
was.
and hearing the stories of all the other people that this has happened to, why is this a thing that people are doing in the first place? Why are we doing this to our police? Why are we doing this to people on the internet? Why are we uh, that's one of the things that really frustrates me that I would like to see go away. It's not benefiting anybody.
Stanley, Elisa, when she was in North Carolina, or was it South Carolina? In one
South
of the
Carolina.
Carolinas, she was a big. So it was a wellness check. So it wasn't a
Is
SWAT
that what it
team.
was? It
Well,
was a
yeah, a
wellness check?
swatting is usually a SWAT team with fucking guns pointed at you, which is what happened to Fireman John. But it was still like super crossing the line. Having people or a cop show up at a fucking Airbnb that you're at, just basically because people saw outside of the fucking building and maybe the interior, and so they're doing all of their homework on the Airbnb. That's creepy as fuck. It's
That's
crossing the
creepy.
line. It's taking
Right.
up all of these valuable time and resources of the police department. Hi, Justin. All of these things that are just like very, very dangerous because some cops, they're not the smartest, and they might go in there and they might think that there's actually some kind of thing going on. They might pull their gun out and they might accidentally shoot somebody because of somebody making a prank phone call. So I don't think it's funny. I would
I don't either.
never ever back that, Sean Faze. I would never do that. I do not back the doxing. I hate the doxing. And to be honest, the CP scared me from streaming for 3 weeks. Like, that to me is the bottom of the bottom. And there's no fucking room for that anywhere on the internet. And once it infiltrates into your little circle, you have to push it out, because it's like that takes the fun away. Like, all of the fun that we have, it takes it all away, and it completely ruins it, and it makes it not worth wanting to do. So we don't back that
Agreed.
at all.
Agree 100%. The swatting, the doxing, that kind of stuff, it just ruins, and it puts a sour taste in the mouth of anybody who hears about our community, because they don't want that sort of thing to happen to them. So that's got to stop. That's got to go
Right.
away. We don't want anything to do with that.
That's important too, because we have a lot of people that haven't really like gotten into the community, but they're naysayers about the community. And I think a lot of that's like the IP2 effect, which I've met a lot of cool people from IP2. I'm not saying that if you're from IP2, you suck. I'm saying that there is a vibe when it comes to IP2 that's a little bit, people are rough around their edges at first. But I've met really cool people from that community. So it's not like I'm saying the whole thing, but they do have like a reputation for being those kinds. And I've found that like once people stick around for a while and they realize what we're up to, yeah, this is the saddest thing. Once they realize what we're up to, then they see, oh, okay,
Justin,
yeah,
are you kidding me?
no,
Somebody swatted Justin.
yeah,
For the love of
it
all
was
that is
absolutely
holy.
depressing, completely
I
depressing.
mean, how low do you gotta go to be swatting everybody you see at Kermit and Friends? Come on now.
It was horrible. I'm going to invite my friend Marie up here. She's wonderful. I don't
Okay.
know if you've met her yet. I really like Marie.
Okay, good.
Thank you, Botter. I appreciate it. And another thing, listen, I talk to Botter and I'm cool with Botter. Botter's been cool to me. If people want to tell me how horrible he is, it's just words that I'm hearing from you. I'm sick of being guilty by association just because I'm friendly to people. If I'm friendly to people, that doesn't mean that you can now come at me in their defense. Like, part of the reason I think Tony hates me so much is because I have been nice to Botter. I've been nice to Noodles too, and Botter and Noodles, they hate each other. So it's just
Yeah,
like,
there's some
I'm just
sort of
trying to
weird
keep,
battle going on there.
yeah. And when people say something, it's cool. You could say whatever you want, but you have to prove it. You have to show me. And I know they have a bad reputation, but I'm not going to vilify people just because some people are spreading rumors, because we know rumors are just rumors. So that's how
Well,
I feel.
it's easy to spread a rumor too. We've learned
Right.
that here, right? Like, it's really easy to
Oh
spread a
yeah.
rumor about somebody and ruin somebody's life in the process. And that's not where we want to be involved in. That's not fun. That's not funny. It's not entertainment, especially when you're actually reaching out and touching someone in their personal life and causing them problems, sending the police to their house,
Yeah.
wasting the police's time, everybody else's time. It's not, we don't want any of that.
Right. And that's like, I don't know what attracted you to this environment and this community, but it definitely wasn't that. And
Well,
like,
that wasn't going on when I got here. This is a new thing that has come about recently.
right.
Needs to go away.
It does need to go away. And I
It's
feel
no
like
fun.
there's people that take advantage of other people's bad reputations, and they say, oh, okay, well, if Botter's around, now I have the green light to do this because everybody says and will blame it on Botter. And listen, I don't know. Botter could be a total nightmare. He hasn't been to me, and I try to treat people the way that they treat me. This is why a lot of people are mad at me when I'm friends with T-Bob, or I'm friends with people that they don't want me to like. Well, that's up to me. Who I like and who I'm friendly with, that's just up to me. So that's just how it works with me. I don't listen to people to tell me who I should like and who I shouldn't like. And I'm getting fucking lots of like pushback about that. But one thing I wanted to mention about the show today is the Elaine drama. And I don't know if you really got to see a lot of it.
No, no. What happened with Elaine? Now, I saw what got showed on the show today,
Yeah.
and something obviously happened that caused Elaine to see Elisa in a different light. Is that how I'm understanding it? What happened?
So I don't know what Elaine's deal with her overall is, but hi, Marie, I'll bring you up in just 1 second. Um, but overall, I don't know what the problem is, but it's coming out slowly with different situations. Elaine will be extremely passive aggressive to Elisa and like throw her under the bus. Elaine's been on so many of the IRL streams that she knows what to expect. She knows that a lot of the times the donos that come in might be mean, and she's done it even with Captain before Elisa was streaming. She knows the nature of it, right? So all of a sudden, she has a problem with it when it fits the other person's narrative. And for example, this guy named Goku wanted to stream with Elisa. He met up with her in Florida. He was streaming on Twitch. Elisa was streaming on YouTube. Elisa was accepting donos. Goku was like, oh, we can't have that on my thing. And he was being very bossy to the point where he even grabbed at Elisa's camera too. I don't know what the intent was there, but Elisa even let that go. Elaine took that as an opportunity to completely have Goku's back, talk all of this shit to Elisa about how you saw some of it, where she's like, well, if you put up evil donos, what does that make you? Things like that. And she was basically taking this stranger side, saying that, oh, he's just a kid that wants to be positive and like horrible to Elisa, taking a stranger's side when against your friend that you've known for a long time. She did the same thing, or I mean, Barry did the same thing to her. Bless his heart, Barry did
What
the same
happened
thing.
with Barry and Rob? Barry walked off with Rob and went to what happened with that?
Well, I'm going to bring Marie up real quick.
Okay,
Hi,
good.
Marie.
I want to hear what happened
Hi.
with that. Hi,
Hi.
Welcome.
Marie. How are
Hi,
you?
Sherman. Nice to meet you.
Nice to
Both
meet you
very
too.
awesome girls. I really like
Hi.
this, Marie.
Hi, Wheezy.
Hi. So I'm just
Hi,
going to
go on.
continue this real
Yeah,
quick. Basically, Barry was smitten by Rob because Rob was supposed to be an investor that knows a lot of people. He's really connected. So when Rob and Barry were talking to Elisa, Barry kept doing things like correcting Elisa, saying, well, you don't know how business goes. You need to listen to him. He doesn't want to be on camera. And he's just taking Rob's side the entire time. It got to a point where Barry and Rob actually left the table. They went to their own table to have a private business meeting away from Elisa. And that was pretty offensive, as you can imagine, to Elisa. So Elisa left. She left and she was talking about
To
it.
get up
And
and leave the facility
the
and left the
area.
boys there?
Yes, just the area at first. And she went to like by the pool or whatever. As she was leaving, Barry and Rob are still having their little meeting. It's so funny. The clip is hilarious because Barry's getting a cheeseburger that Rob bought for him, and it's being put down in front of him at the moment. And Elisa's like, okay, bye, guys. You know, like, fuck you guys. I'm out of here if you guys are both going to go behind my back. And to make a long story short, they just totally like buddied up against each other and said, oh, fuck off, Elisa. Two grown-ass men left the table where the girl was sitting to be alone. And Barry's excuse was, well, I know business and I'm just trying to get you a good business deal. He later apologized, but it was very clear to anybody that was watching that Barry was very quick to throw Elisa under the bus in order to buddy up to Rob because he saw potential there for maybe even an investment. So this is 2 days before the Elaine thing happened to Elisa. But Elisa also tried to meet Elaine one day where she actually went to Clearwater, Florida just to meet Elaine, just to stay with Elaine. And Elaine was ghosting her. She wasn't even replying. Finally, when Elaine called her back, she was like, oh, I'm so sick. The kid got me sick. I'm so sorry, but this is what I'm really sick. And Justin, just message Leaf and he'll send you the link. And so basically, I think personally, and Elaine, if you're watching, feel free to come up and you can defend yourself. I think Elaine was faking sick because she didn't want to deal with Elisa that day. She had a built-in excuse because the next day when she was hanging out with Elisa, she didn't seem like somebody that was just sick. She was dancing, she was jumping around. So it was just very odd timing for that. And like, I'm looking at it from Elisa's point of view. Like all of these things are happening around. She's got to start saying like, hey, what the fuck? Like, do these people have my back or do they just want it to be on camera and they're very fair weather. And you can make an argument that they are fair weather.
Well, and I know that you don't want to be held guilty for your association with some people, but when some people are fair weather and they have a habit of doing bad things to other people, you don't necessarily want to be involved with them because you know they're going to do something bad to you eventually.
Mm.
I love Barry, but Barry's burned me.
I
And
love Barry too. Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
and he has a reputation for doing a lot of different things to a lot of different people. So the first chance he got, he turned his back on Elisa.
And the funniest part is yesterday I was talking to Elaine in a voice chat, which was impossible because everybody had to put their 2 cents in to immediately derail the conversation. But anyway, I was talking to Elaine about Barry. Barry pops in. So now Barry has to defend himself, and his excuse, which I guess it's a good excuse, but if you have it to fall back on it with every move that you make in your life, then it feels like a fake excuse. He's like, well, you guys don't understand. I'm autistic. It's like, okay, well, you might be autistic. You might be. But is that an excuse for bad behavior? Are you trying to tell us you don't know up from down, and only time that you get in trouble or that's when you're blaming your autism? Like, I'm very proud of Barry for being able to do things that he did, but having that built-in excuse of like, you guys, I was just a dickhead because of this reason, it seems like inauthentic to me. It seems like just like an excuse.
Well, he's autistic savant, so he's highly intelligent, and he is smart enough to create fake government agencies to go arrest people he doesn't like, and then claim diminished capacity to get charges reduced. So he's very intelligent, and you have nailed you have hit the nail on the head with the hammer, Wheezy, right? He has a great excuse to fall back on anytime it gets hot for him in the kitchen.
Right. And like, I love Barry. I want people to know that. Barry has a lot of haters. I legitimately love Barry. I take him for what he is. I know what to expect from Barry. Me and Barry can tease each other and no hard feelings, right? But the fact remains, in these situations, things happen. There are facts. And trying to change it and trying to like make it fit your narrative so that you can dismiss responsibility, that's dangerous, because then all of a sudden you just have who wants to hang out with somebody that's always got a built-in excuse of why they're being a bad friend?
Well, unless somebody wants to take advantage of his behavior for their purposes.
Right.
Because he's always got a built-in excuse to get out of any trouble.
And like, Barry was so sweet with Elisa before that problem happened. They were so cute together. I loved it. He's like
Didn't he
kissing
want
her
to
on
be
the
a
cheek.
power couple? It was so cute.
Yeah.
Elisa and I both got offers for power couples in Miami. I think Miami had great potential.
Absolutely. And I loved it. It was very endearing for him to be up there with her, and he was feeling like a big shot. But then, when it went south, Elisa's like pissed off, and she was saying things that, hurt Barry's feelings. And so Barry's saying things in the chat that hurt her feelings, and it becomes this huge thing.
Oh,
And
I didn't know.
yeah, there's some clips of it, and it was pretty harsh. And I have to say, Barry handled it pretty good. But you can't blame Elisa for being super pissed, because this has been a pattern to where people, they want to be on camera and they want to look a certain way on camera, and they're treating Elisa differently than if they weren't going to be on camera. They're playing to the crowd by throwing her under the bus. Play to the crowd all you want, but
why throw her under the bus?
Yeah, not at her expense.
Well, I wouldn't want to burn Elisa either. The idea that Barry and Elisa have known each other for so long, and then he would turn his back on her for what? For money with an investor?
It just seemed weird to me. Now, Marie, I know that you're not really from this entire community, but have you been paying attention to her IRL streams at all, or do you just watch the show?
I've tuned in as much as I have, but I'm not sure who all the characters are yet. No,
right.
It's difficult to pick up.
Right, it is difficult. There's so much, and me and Charmin were just talking about. If you miss a week, then you miss a year's worth of content, because there's so many storylines happening at the same time. And like Charmin and I have been doing this show for a little over a year together, And
Oh,
this is the
cool.
first time that we have taken 3 weeks off. And it feels like I
Yeah.
could talk for hours to Charmin about
Mhm.
everything that she missed in the Discord and
Wow.
the community.
You know, maybe we need a little coloring book, like a little visual diagram, a little dictionary of
Yeah.
who the characters are and what
Crash
their role
course.
is, and a little bit of their back character.
Yeah.
That could be beneficial, especially
Yeah.
for some of the new people.
And
Yeah.
Charmin,
Yeah.
again, I want to give you credit. You met Elisa.
Mhm.
You didn't go on there and throw her under the bus with people. You were fantastic with her. It was so sweet. You and Elisa were having a good time. You went to people's porches and hanging out with strangers. That
Mhm.
Chuck guy came over and you were very defensive, not in a bad way, but you were like, I got Elisa's back and make sure that
Like, who's
nothing
this
weird.
guy?
Yeah,
Yeah. No,
that's a
I got him some
friend.
food. I got him
Yeah,
some healthcare information. He looked like he needed it.
that's a friend. That's what friends do. That's what I think
Yeah.
Elisa has been
Well,
expecting from her friends.
well, let's talk about friends, right? Because what friends do to help each other. Elisa kind of started touching on some of the ideas that Rob guy had for some of the shows. And he did have some ideas to help bring in money to Elisa for donations, but she didn't like one of the ideas. And I think the Kermitarians would enjoy it.
Well, what is it?
Well, he wanted Elisa to
I could see
Mhm.
the wheels turning.
he wanted Elisa to interview OnlyFans girls
Oh.
about
yeah.
business. He didn't want it to be naughty. He wanted to keep it professional, but he wanted to bring in OnlyFans girls with high followings and connect them into the
Look at that name. Jesus
Kermitarian
Christ.
universe. And there's apparently some guy out in California who is doing this, and it is getting him a lot of money. It is bringing in a lot of donations. It's bringing in a lot of likes, a lot of followers, and it's very profitable for him. So I think it would be very profitable for Elisa as well. I think the Kermitarians would enjoy that.
So I have to
I
agree
could be
with
wrong.
hate goes here real quick, because I think that in theory that might sound great, but I feel like there's major intention behind that, being that, hey, Rob is like, hey, I'm gonna get this pretty girl to put
Mhm.
me in a position to hang out with all these other pretty girls so I
I mean,
can talk
Mhm.
about
that could be
whatever
what
I
it
want.
is.
Yeah.
He is a man with a plan. I tell you, he knows how to make a pitch.
Yeah. Yeah, I see. All I saw from him was him putting his back to the camera and saying, I'm hungry, I need to eat. Those kinds of things. Like, he was real grumpy. And then I saw
Was he?
the video of him showing the money in the calendar and stuff like that.
Well, and then whatever happened with Barry too, that probably ruined everything, because that was really everybody's first impression of Rob.
Right. And you actually sat down with him at some point, right?
Mhm.
And so,
Yep.
and that wasn't on camera. So you probably
No.
likely got a completely different version of him than we did as an audience, because
Correct.
as a viewer, we're only seeing, that
And
perspective.
and he shared why he didn't want to be on camera, and I understood and appreciated that.
Hi, Justin.
Hi,
Welcome to the
my
show.
beautiful
Hi,
Luigi.
Justin.
Hi, Simon.
How are you? Let me see your shirt. What shirt? Is it Jack Skellington? Oh,
Aw.
Merry
It's just
Christmas.
I almost made the nice list. That's totally me. That's totally me right there. Nobody else but me.
Now,
Hi, Justin.
Good.
Hi, Marie.
another thing that happened on the show today was that this Brandon Q character came up and turned everything into
I
an
couldn't stand that
Illuminati.
man, Luigi. He was just disgusting. I never
What
liked that.
happens?
Yeah, and
I don't know if people know what a targeted individual or gang stalking is, but it's that.
What's the DNA? Who is that person? What is that story? What is all that?
I have no idea. I know that years ago, maybe 10 years ago, I met a targeted individual, which is, I think, just a way to make schizophrenic people feel better about themselves. I have to be honest, because
Is that what you think it
schizophrenia,
is?
these people think that everywhere they go, that every single person that they see around them is after them. Like, if you go to the grocery store and somebody's stocking shelves and they look at you, that person was paid to chase this guy away. That's what they think. They think that the entire universe happening around them is to come get them. It's a CIA operation. You heard him say, everywhere I go, FBI helicopters are following me and stuff like that. And he
I
got
missed
all
that.
of He got all of that off of an Illuminati reference in a song. And it's like, wow.
You know,
Connecting dots that don't exist.
you know, when I saw the Illuminati pop up in the video, I was like, oh God, what does that mean? What's going to happen next? And then the Brandon Q guy showed up, and the Illuminati thing, it triggers things in some people, and it sets them off in a whole path direction. And what's real, what's
Look
not
at
real.
this.
Then the
They
guy
see
had the
things in
tattoo,
everything, don't they?
Yeah, then the guy had the tattoo, and he wouldn't talk about the Illuminati either. And it's like,
Yeah.
This is,
signs.
by the way, McHenry Cruiser. I love this guy's YouTube. If you guys haven't followed this guy, follow him. He's a fantastic interviewer. Fantastic. But he says that, you know, that he's schizophrenic and he's medicated now, and he used to think that way. And so, you know, maybe there's something to it. Maybe it's like very common for schizophrenic people that are unmedicated to have this, like maybe it's a symptom of it. But that's very brave of him to say that, and he's a good source too. I love this guy, so I appreciate that.
No, that's wonderful. I'm glad that he popped up, and hopefully we can get him to come and explain this to us. Maybe some of what we're experiencing with some of our callers is unmedicated schizophrenia.
I would say that's definitely a change.
I wouldn't know how to identify it.
I hate to say this to you guys, but I'm going to say this. So during the time that she was live streaming, she met Joey. You know, we all know who Joey is. She met Joey.
He was great.
He was really cool. And then she says again today on the show that I saw somebody very, very strange. I'm like, who did you see strange? You know,
I don't know, but Joey, I don't know why he escaped my mind when I was talking about people that she met. He was a perfect gentleman. He was really likable on screen. He was fun without being like a lot of people were calling him boring, but they're just saying because he wasn't dancing around and jumping around. He was fun. He did whatever she wanted to do. They had great like chemistry together on camera. They were just like, it was like you, Charmin, to where you didn't go there for any other reason than to hang out with your friend Elisa. And if the cameras were off, it would have been the same thing. And this is what Joey was. Joey was like, hey, let's go here. And I don't know Joey super well, but I've always gotten along with him. It made me like Joey even more than before because he was so normal and he wasn't doing things that seemed like insane. And so, I'm glad you brought that up.
It surprised me though, Weezy, on how he was very sane with her and very, very, he wasn't like Kleenex was. He was totally not like Kleenex was.
Now, did Charmin see the Kleenex bit?
I did not see the Kleenex bit, but I heard that he charged back a donation. Is that true? Did Kleenex do that to her?
Yeah, he did.
And this entire story about it, which Gonzo could speak up to it, but his story is ridiculously stupid. But he says that when he got his credit card, he actually got another service that is a fraud protection, and that he did a whole stream on it. Now he's anti-Elisa because nobody's buying it, and that he has fraud protection, and the fraud protection is what caught it, and that is what took away donations from not only Elisa, but $700 worth of donations to Captain Content. He donated $700 to Captain Content and like $30 to Elisa.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Charmin, you missed the whole scenario with that because Chris.
Who thinks Kleenex's wife did chargebacks for Kleenex's charges? Is it just me?
I think it was just Kleenex.
It could be.
And well,
could be just looking for attention. That guy did all that $1,000 worth of chargebacks, and she talked about him so much, so Kleenex probably charged back her so he could get her attention.
Yep. What's up, Lee?
What a shame.
Yeah, he does probably. That pisses me off because when he met her that day, he was groping her and being like disgusting with her. She didn't like it at all.
Yeah, he grabbed her pelvic bone from behind, and she was like,
"What?"
Yeah.
Oh my God, it was just gross. So
welcome everybody, a very huge superstar that hopefully has his television off. And he hopefully doesn't have background noises that are really loud. Everybody, Johnny B, Man Cave Live.
I can't help some of the background noises.
What's up, Johnny B? How you doing, buddy?
What's happening with you?
Not much. We're
You've
just
been under some controversy over the last week too. I think you know what I'm talking about.
I
without going
do. A
into detail.
bunch of fake lies with fake. I'm not even going to talk about it because you know why people start controversy around me, Johnny
Because
B?
people want
To get attention.
Oh,
And
is that
that's not what I'm going to do.
wanted-
I'm not going to give people attention that so desire it that they make up stories and they do all these things. They can go ahead and be Wheezy fans in their own time. They can speak about me, talk about me, type about me on their own time. If that's how they want to spend their time, who am I to tell them not to?
Right.
So it
Well, I'm
doesn't
a
affect
Weezy
me.
fan for sure.
Yeah.
Does not affect me
Hashtag
at all.
Find
What'd you say,
Johnny, did you
Dustin?
do any Pictionary on
I
your
said,
channel the last couple of days?
Uh-oh, I think Johnny B got a phone call as soon as he got
Oh,
up here,
he's
which is
muted.
very on brand for Johnny B.
it's very
Good.
rude for Johnny B to be
I turned him off. It's Meat Truck Mike trying to call.
Oh, well, we love
No.
Meat Truck Mike. He's one of my favorites ever. I wish you would have let him speak.
I thought
I'm a
you-
huge fan of
I
Meat
don't
Truck.
like having phone calls come on when I'm on something else. So
Well, that's very, I have to say, I'm very proud of you about that, John, because noise pollution is one of my main problems, and I become autistic immediately when I hear 17 things going on at the same time. So I definitely.
if he wants to call and talk and ask a question, call you. It's your show, not mine.
Now, Johnny B, what did you think about today's show? Did you like it? Was there anything that stuck out to you?
It was quite interesting. It was one of the more docile shows for EJ, and I thought it was. I wasn't able to sit here and watch it. I had it playing on my phone when I was driving, so I could hear most of the conversations.
Right.
I like it to be a calm, and I understand her. I get the same thing going on me. It turns into a shit fest somewhere along the line.
Right.
And I'm almost sometimes on my stuff. I'm almost afraid to even tell people to watch because it turns into such a shit fest. But it was a calmer show. That's the way it should be, more organized.
It was a great show. I felt like it was a little docile than it could have been in the past, but those 3 weeks off really kind of changed the perspective of everything. And she didn't have as many guests as she usually does. They only booked
a
one
lot more organized.
Now, JB, is there an announcement you want to make?
Meat Truck Mike will not be my co-host.
Oh no! This is very disappointing.
Hey,
very disappointing.
I love me truck.
He's welcome to be panelist on my show if he acts civilized. I'm about to start silencing people from chat for some things that have been being said, and not bringing people up on panel.
Smell pollution. That's funny.
I'm not going to have no shit fest on my show.
Johnny B, I don't want to talk about any of that drama because it's very depressing. However,
just making a statement that you.
But I do have some feedback, and you're not going to like it. Yeah. I would love if Johnny B gave the middle finger to you now and said, "Fuck you, you now. You're not worth the $12 a year that I make off of you. Focus entirely on YouTube." So that maybe one time you can get monetized after a while and you can make your money there on YouTube so that you can have StreamYard guests, more than just 3 people. You can have shows weekly that people actually watch instead of having to watch. Like, have you ever seen the YouNow app? It's atrocious. And I consume a lot of my content on my phone and it's not good, Johnny B.
So
I've been doing a lot more dual broadcasting. But it's on YouTube also.
Johnny B, the dual broadcasting, what it does is it makes both platforms suffer because you're spending your attention 50% here and 50% here. So you're not talking to one crowd, you're talking to 2 different factions, and you can't even give them 100% of your focus. So it's a worse idea. I'd rather have you do one or the other than to do both of them because both of them just makes your show worse.
Well, I got other people have the opposite opinion. They like it that I'm on the YouTube also at the same time. There's certain things I can do on YouNow I can't do on YouTube without getting the copyright flags and all of that. So when I want to do a music show, I close the YouTube side and stick on YouNow.
Well, that's
he's
just my
addicted to YouNow. I don't think he's ever going to leave YouNow.
I don't think so either.
I just collected another $200 from them, so that puts me up to about damn near $2,000.
And how
That's
long?
A lot more than
Johnny?
$12 a year.
$1,800 over the last year.
Okay. Well,
since they started the Diamond program, I've made about $1,800.
Now, that's better than $12, so I do stand corrected.
Yes.
There are all sorts of age groups that are on YouNow for those questions people say, and there are kind of the teeny boppers. And every
Hi,
once in a while, they get
Fuzzy.
somebody that tries to be
Aw, hold on, let me put
a
that up.
exhibitionist, shall we say, and they get reported and taken off right away.
Oh, look at Fuzzy. Say
Oh,
hi,
What a
Fuzzy.
cutie!
Aw, I
He
love
was just
kitties.
like
Kitty.
me.
oh God,
Love
Hi,
you're
them.
baby.
Love
So
bites. Get
Aw.
your
good.
attention.
Such a
Charmaine, I would
cutie.
love to visit you in Florida.
You
Oh,
should,
thank you,
Justin.
Justin.
Justin's a good guy. We love Justin.
Yeah, we love Justin.
The
Hey, we
N
go.
word's not allowed here, friends. No N word in the chat,
Thank you,
please.
Toothless
Thank you.
Uncle Fester. I'll take it as a compliment.
Toothless
Right.
Uncle Fester. Okay, fat toothless overalls. I know I've mentioned this before, but I need this guy from Stickam. In 2007, I met this guy, and I can't believe that we have reconnected on YouTube this long, like fucking 15 years later, whatever that is. He's funny. He's a funny guy.
Good.
Who's that?
The guy that just typed to you, fat toothless overalls, or that's actually just toothless fat overalls. His
Who
name
the
just
hell-
used to be
Overalls,
fat
it's
toothless.
suspenders.
Who the hell put my address in the chat? I don't get that.
Oh no! Did somebody erase it?
I didn't see that.
It was blocked. Somebody posted my address in this chat. I'm
Well,
gonna
don't Justin. Don't give that any attention. That's exactly what they want. Yeah,
No.
Pixel Bat. I was on Stickam. It was very, very. It's a lot like you now. It was actually shut down because so many underage people were showing their bodies.
Yeah,
So,
well, they keep a pretty close tie on that in the YouNow platform, especially there's other members of us. If I'm going through and just looking to find a new stream to look at, and I like to look at the new people and greet people. But if I see, a lot of times you'll see their screen picture when you hover over it, you'll see a little video clip of what's going on, and sometimes you see them doing the 5-knuckle shuffle. And
now, Johnny B, why would you be on that site if that's what happens there?
you just report them and move on.
Huh?
You
Yes,
know,
I was fat toothless.
and those people get blocked and banned every single day.
Me and fat toothless. I know this is off topic here, but even now, the craziest person that I've ever met online ever was this guy named Password, and that's how me and fat toothless know each other. And he was insane. He actually ended up being on Battle Cam, and he put a fucking firecracker in his mouth and blew his fucking teeth out. Like that's
Oh
how
my
insane
God.
he
Oh
was.
my God.
One of the craziest people I ever met is Tony
Oh.
Stark, but we won't go any farther on that. Shout out to Tony.
Yeah, Gigi says she despises you now. It's horrid to
Hi,
navigate. I agree.
Gigi.
On the
Hi, Gigi.
iPhone,
I only show up for Johnny.
on the phone, it's like you can't even do anything. Even if you
The phone app sucks.
Amen.
The
phone app sucks.
It
It
does.
very
I
much
deleted
does.
it because it just sucked.
But the PC interface is nice.
Now,
But,
can
you
you
know, I've
explain
been-
to us
I've
what
been
the
I mean, if
every-
you've made it
5-knuckle
1,800
shuffle
bucks
is?
in the years,
in the
I
last
mean, that's
year, you know. But
it's pretty
the
impressive, Johnny.
yeah, I know.
I get you.
Good for you.
The interface works much better. It'd be nice if we could have more than 3 people, but that keeps it. It doesn't get as loaded when you got 3 people.
You sure get loaded when you're on there, don't you, Johnny?
Not
B?
very often.
By the way,
Even Leaf is saying
the sheriff's
he has to
department is
refresh.
here again.
But when I didn't, when
We
my
need a
internet was a lot
sheriff's
slower, I
department
couldn't
here
have
again.
anybody on.
Oh, God.
Justin,
No, you
I'm
couldn't go up at
I'm
all.
gonna remove you. Don't say that, Justin. I'm removing you from the stream. Don't say that. Do not give it any attention. This is like the worst. Like people, whoever
God.
wants attention like that, it's not the right attention. You're gonna get the wrong attention. I love Justin. Justin doesn't deserve anything like this. It's fucking pathetic. So that's not good. And he needs to stop talking about it like that because it gives
Are you going
people.
to ban the person who posted his address?
I don't know who it is.
Someone
tell
must
me?
have done it.
Somebody
know who it
blocked
was?
it apparently. So
Yeah.
one of your mods caught it.
Yeah. I mean, thank you to the mods. Obviously, Johnny B.
Damn it! Just a minute.
Unbelievable.
I turned
Now,
it
this
down.
guy's a professional streamer that's been on
I didn't expect it to go
1,115
off.
days.
Sorry.
1,115 days in a row that Johnny B has been streaming, and he's still the only person to every single time he's up here have something playing in the background.
Sorry, I turned it down.
Unbelievable.
You think he does it too often? He's become blasé.
Yes. Now I believe in something called production value, and he might not believe in that as much as I do. So maybe that's the problem.
Explain production value for the rest of us, Wheezy.
So when you're watching something, you do not want to see distractions, having people interrupt each other, have really loud music playing in the background so that you can't hear a conversation. You want to have like, see on my camera, I'm not like this, or I'm not like way over here or anything. I've tried to get myself centered, to have headroom, all of these things lead to something that is aesthetic and it's not annoying to your ears.
No, I'm moving.
We're taking notes. What we got going on here?
It's very important but a lot of people that broadcast on YouTube, they don't have that in them to know that, hey, maybe annoying my viewers is a bad idea. And I feel like annoying your viewers is a really bad idea. And that's why I hope that Elisa stops taking random callers. I hope that she charges them to call. If you want to call and you want me to take the call, you do it here. And that way we will have better production value all around. That's just what
I think people will still pay to say crazy stuff on air.
I think so
but
too.
At least she'll get paid for it.
Yeah, but it'll cut it down a little, won't it?
Right.
Maybe.
Thank you. See, Melody's child in key. Yes, exactly. That is exactly it. It's important. A lot of people don't pay attention to it as much. Actually, McHenry Cruiser, you are one of my favorite broadcasters on YouTube. So you don't even have to pay attention to that because you're great. Your shorts are great. Your lives are great. Your videos are great. I can't big up this guy enough. You have to follow him. He's very entertaining. He asks the right questions when he interviews people. He's great. I don't know what community he's even from, but I like the guy.
Good. That's nice. It's always nice when we get the good ones in here.
Yes.
Hopefully they multiply.
Like yes. So we will be wrapping it up in a second, but I wanted you guys to be able to talk about anything else that struck you today in the show, maybe even the future of it. One of my notes was talking about the gamer Pharaoh. Do you guys remember that guy? He came in and he's from like the Faroe Islands and he had that background.
Oh yeah.
I want to see more of him.
Yeah, I hope he plays more, right?
Yeah. Yeah. He got very nervous when he's playing guitar, which is completely understandable. Like acoustic, I've played guitar for a really long time, but when you play acoustic and you sing, it strips out all of the tricks that you can use as a musician. It's so raw. I'm horrible at it. It's like one of the only things that gives me anxiety when it comes to performing or speaking in front of people. It's like, oh, it's scary. So I give him a lot of credit for that. It's not easy to do.
I wish it's really hard. Now, what else happened? It seems like there's something else that happened in the show today that we missed.
Let me see. I have, the Andy, the Elaine, the Wappy, Gene Wilder's Vacation. We didn't even talk about his music.
Yeah, we didn't talk about his music. It was how hard it is for the timing for Andy to go into prison at the same time, and how he felt like he's getting a lesser response right now because of the drama.
What timing? It's perfect timing for him. I mean, no press is bad press. Is that what you think too, or do you think it's the opposite effect?
No, I think there can be bad press.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah.
I think
it could be a detriment, especially when it's this kind of bad. It could be a detriment. But I think that the attention is magnified. Like even if you get somebody's attention and you're like, oh no, that's not for me now, it's still got to more eyes. You know what I mean? Yeah. So no, we talked about the Illuminati caller, Tony. We talked about that. Duh.
And how often do we see somebody become a registered sex offender for offending adults? I don't think we see that.
Understood. I don't
think we see that very often.
Yeah, I don't understand that at all. Like I've never heard of that.
You know what? It would be nice if somebody understood the charges and everything that happened better to come explain it to us, because that's something I've never seen happen before, and we should understand it.
D-Man has a great point. That's a great point, D-Man. I stand corrected.
The sex offender registry is never good press, but they have ordered him to go to AA for a year and to take some additional therapy. Maybe we should understand that. Is there any history of this type of sex offender therapy
always-
working? I got questions.
I've always associated sex offender with like underage. Like,
No, it's just
but
any
it's
sex.
not. Yeah, you're right.
offence.
I stand corrected. You're right.
Yeah.
Like a rapist. Yeah, all of that.
Yeah, any sexual offence. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, it absolutely makes sense. It's logical.
hmm
Right.
Somebody
It's just not
stated
something we talk about very often.
this was the joke
Maybe
before
we
I
should.
left. I saw somebody posted in there, make a song, I Can't Stop Groping You, in the chat during that. This is before I left home. I am going to write a song, I Can't Stop Groping You, to the tune of I Can't Stop Loving You, an old country tune.
I do stand corrected about this. You're right. I had a brain fart there.
I think
was
that
like,
would be
oh.
funny, eh?
No, Johnny B, that's not funny. Groping people is never funny. It's very dark. And how dare you suggest that would be a good song?
Yeah.
People
I don't
write
think that's
songs
the
about
song.
other stuff.
I don't
Come
think
on,
that's the
you
song
know.
you want to make right now, Johnny. Timing.
Will John sing the show out?
Timing.
Probably not.
Nope, no more karaoke on this channel, unfortunately.
Yeah, because that impacts your monetization.
Even
correct?
like letting Wappy play on here.
Really?
He strikes me himself, but it's just whoever he's licensed to.
Right,
So every
it's an
time I get a
automated
strike
thing.
and it's Wappy's like, dang it, you rascal Wappy, but it's not even him. It's just how it works.
Right, it's just
But
how it works.
I also feel like that karaoke is not for everyone, and especially when certain people were singing karaoke, I'd watch the viewers go down 80% immediately, and so that's never a good look either.
No,
But yeah, I mean, I hope to close this out. I hope that Elisa keeps doing what is fulfilling to her and what she likes to do, and that she doesn't really aim to please everybody. She just finds what she wants to do and organically does that, because a lot of callers even said it. She's got like something about her that make people watch. When it's IRL, she's just really likable in those
Yeah,
situations.
she is.
She's personable. She has the right charisma. She's
funny.
disarming.
Yeah.
When she does this show, I love it because I honestly, and people always call me a simp for this, I think she's a masterful interviewer. I think that when she's had a good interview and she gets people, they don't even know how to handle her sometimes because her humor might be missed or something like that, or her trolling might not be getting picked up on.
Right.
But that is, like, to me, like one of her huge strong points is the interviewing. So I really want her to keep interviewing. If she does the IRL stuff, I like that too. But I prefer watching her like either one-on-one or with a panel, because to me, it's like more what I consume. The IRL stuff's great, but I prefer the other stuff, especially the interviewing.
Yeah, no, I really enjoy that too. And some of the IRL stuff is funny, but she has a way about her. She has a really good presence, that she asks good quality questions, and we enjoy that about her. So I hope that continues, but I hope she finds a way to do it in a way that makes her proud and doesn't make her feel like, people are just using her to embarrass. That's not.
I agree.
If that's not what she wants to do, that's not what she should be doing. And she shouldn't be letting people take advantage of her platform.
Or letting people tell her what to do. Like, people are saying, this is what you need to do. This is what you know. You need to do what's fulfilling for you, that you like, and it's making, there's a reason she does this. Do that. Do the things that is what you get out of it. Like, I play music not only for people to hear, but for me to express. And so that's a lot of the reason I think she does this, is to, like, she's told us many, many times that if she's feeling lonely or depressed, streaming makes her feel the opposite. So those kinds of things are important. And if it becomes like a negative job or something that feels labor intensive, it won't be fun. So for her, I think that having fun is really super important in this, and to like have less stress about it, because she's been very stressed out about trying to please people. And I think she does her best when she's actually just being herself and not really, it's not that she's not worried about pleasing the audience. It's just that she's organically doing it instead of trying to. So that's what I think.
I agree. No, I think
Charmin, you're the best.
Oh,
Go ahead. Sorry. Go
I
ahead. Say what
appreciate you,
you're gonna say.
Wheezy. You're the best too. And I think she's going to find whatever makes her happy. But could we just say her makeup and hair was on point today?
It very much
It's
was.
very beautiful.
She looks very glamorous today.
She's a hot babe. Nobody can deny that. She's not
For
a
sure.
simple woman. Yeah.
For sure.
And like I said, I hope that she keeps it this way, and so we get to see her behind the desk. But for whatever she does, Charmin, you and I can wrap it up however. We could say, hey, she did an interview. Let's do a small show about the interview. Something like that. Instead, it doesn't need to be this exact format for us to be able to appreciate her and to kind of like talk about what she was talking about.
And if times need to change because the show evolves, we can be flexible.
Absolutely. And I'll have to say, Charmin, 4 adults up here that aren't trying to interrupt each other the whole time is much better than having 9 people who are like, hey, me, no, look at me, look at me, look at me. It's much easier to deal with too.
It is. It is. And if the audience appreciates it, it's something we should keep up with as well. So we'll see. It's an evolution. Kermit and Friends is always changing.
I agree. Well, thank you guys for watching. And thank you, Charmin, for always saving my butt and being my co-host because you're the best. Thank you, Marie, for making your debut. And thank you, Johnny
nice
B.
To meet you, Charmin.
Nice to meet you.
Johnny B, please just go to YouTube from now on. Nothing else. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Bye, guys.